Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Megan Doberstein with Ignite MedTech. Ignite is a fractional marketing agency, and we're here to help any medtech and health tech startups go to market. Okay, if any of you are launching a product this year, you know that it's a real challenge to go to market and to launch your product in this environment. And there seems like there's a lot of strategy involved and there's a lot of activity happening, but sometimes we don't really know which activities are really resonating with our customers. And there's just a lot of nuances here to the go-to-market strategy. And so in today's video, we're going to break down the top 3 mistakes I see most medtech and health tech startups make, and we'll teach you how to avoid them and what you should do instead. So let's get into the video.
Let's be honest, building a go-to-market plan for a medtech startup is a little like navigating a minefield. One wrong move and you've lost precious time, you've lost budget, and even worse, investor confidence. So this is a super important part of your strategy. There are 3 most common go-to-market mistakes I see Series A startups make, and this is really how you can avoid them. These are the things that can quickly stall your growth even if you've got a great product. So let's save you the headache and get into what those 3 go-to-market pain points are. All right, mistake number 1, trying to be everywhere at once. All right, you've got some budget coming in and you're like, let's just go as many places as we possibly can. You've got this killer new product and now you're on LinkedIn, you're emailing KOLs, you're setting up webinars, you're cold calling, you're going out there to clinics, you're sponsoring everything at a conference, and the list keeps going, right? It goes on and on and on. How much activity can we do? I've seen founders burn through 60K to 100K in 3 months doing all of this stuff, only to realize that they've never really figured out which channels work for their customers. So you don't want to go everywhere at once. Just narrow your focus and try to pick 1 or 2 traction paths where you've already seen momentum. So if that means that at this specific conference you were able to engage with X amount of clinicians, double down on those conferences then. Where can you find more of those type of interactions? If webinars are driving qualified leads, then invest in better webinar content and higher quality speakers. All right, so really understand what's driving the traffic or what's driving engagement. Remember that more isn't better, better is better, right? So you really have to understand your customers, understand what's working and what's not. So here's a tip. Create a simple experiment plan for each channel and track every metric. Track. How much effort and budget are you putting in? Like, how many leads are you converting? How much engagement are you getting per lead? What's the cost per conversion? Then sort of cut the low performers and focus on what's working. So you need to be super focused when you have a really small budget, right? So quick real world story here. A client of mine spent $20K on Google Ads before we realized that a simple LinkedIn outreach, organic one, was bringing in higher quality leads for free. So they reallocated the budget and their conversion rate tripled. So you really need to understand sort of where your money is going and understand what channels are really working best for you. Okay, on to mistake number 2, speaking too much like an engineer. Okay, who's been there, right? Most of you may be engineers, you may be researchers. You know all the specs inside out, the signal channel, the sensor collaboration, the precision rate. But here's the thing, your buyer doesn't care about that level of detail really upfront. If they can't clearly see how your product improves workflow or saves time or reduces their risk with patients, then they tune out, right? So it's all about the benefits at this stage. Instead of saying something like our device uses 10 sensors with nanosecond response, say something about ER intake time reduction or improved patient outcomes, right? Talk about the claims that you can make. Think in terms of benefits, not features. Use the language your buyers use. If your copy reads like a patent filing, it's not simple enough, right? It's time to take another look at that. So here's a simple trick. Ask yourself, would my grandmother understand this? If not, you need to simplify even further, right? And it's not so much that our audience needs it simplified, that they're like, reading at a third grade level, but it's really just the amount of information that we're all taking in today. So here's the tip. So find the value proposition, rewrite it in a clear benefit statement, one or two of them. Keep in mind that you are a nurse or a physician, so keep that in mind in the back of your head that you're selling to, who are you selling to, and who your main customer profile is. And mistake number 3, launching without a feedback loop already put in place. This one is a big one for me. If you ask a founder what you've learned from the last sales calls, sometimes you get radio silence, and that just drives me crazy, right? You need to be understanding what your customer is saying in those early interactions. So this is a huge red flag for me. You need to keep a tight feedback loop in order to understand your customers, and those first 5 or 6 customers are everything. Your early customers are pilot users. They're your best R&D team. They'll tell you what's missing, what's confusing, what's not working. It's really a gold mine here. So capture the feedback from sales calls, demos, objections, any pilot programs, webinars. Just feed this insight back into your messaging, back into your onboarding, back into your sales training. Just really sort of rework all the things that you get in those first couple interactions. If you're not actively gathering and using feedback, you're just guessing at this point, and that can be very dangerous on what resonates with your customer. So here's a very quick checklist. You should record and review all of your sales calls. I know some of them are in person, right, and others are not, but if you can, record them. Log any objections in a shared document. I mean, you need to be doing this anyway from a quality regulatory standpoint. Survey pilot users and watch for patterns, right? So where can we see the data points line up? Update your materials based on this real world interaction, right? So a lot of times we take the feedback and then we don't do anything with it. So make sure that you're going back and updating messages and sales decks, and make sure that we are really getting that feedback back into our overall copy. Okay, so let's recap our 3 big mistakes I see. So 1 is focusing your channels. Less is more, right? So you're everywhere all at once. You got to narrow that down. 2 is speaking like a human, not a data sheet. So clarity wins here every time. Don't fall into the technical trap. And then number 3 is build your feedback loop and actually use the insight. So drive that messaging back into the copy and make sure that you are really honing in on what your customer is telling you. So if you're ready to tighten up your strategy, we've got a free go-to-market readiness checklist for you that you can download on our website, or we can chat one-on-one and get you back on track. So remember that every mistake you avoid in these early months saves you money and time. So don't just work harder and push more, work smarter, people. If you want, you can reach out. I'm always here to help, and appreciate the time. Thanks.